hospitality administration, agriculture, and emergency management. There we go. I remembered all of them. I usually forget one every time it's a different one. So we have a very diverse college, and I'm proud of that. And so let me go around and introduce you to Associate Dean is Dr. Pat Buford, and she'll introduce herself now.
Welcome, everyone. My name's Pat Buford. I work for the dean and for the department heads and for you. So I'm a support position. One of the things I do work with closely is the Engineering LLC, which is the living learning community for engineering students that live in Jones. And so I usually take the upper level classes and Dr. Young takes the lower level classes. But if you have any questions or anything you want to know about that, please don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you.
Dr. Greco, you're next on my screen.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to ATU. We're happy to have everyone here. Looking forward to seeing you in person in August, hopefully. I'm the interim department head of electrical engineering, and we have actually 3 programs in electrical engineering. We have the traditional electrical engineering degree. We have a biomedical option from that degree, and then we have a separate computer engineering degree. And so we are very excited about growing those 3 programs and accepting students into those programs. We've had quite a few students graduate this semester already, so we're looking to replace those students with some of you guys. So I will be here to answer questions that you might have about our program. I will say one thing, that we have a very dynamic robotics program. So I was hoping that one of my faculty members could be here. He's a bit under the weather right now. I'm not sure if Jacob made it or not, but
I'm here.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So Jacob can tell us more about the robotics program. Okay, so that's it for me.
Dr. McMahon, you're next on my screen, so go ahead.
All righty. Good afternoon. Nice to see everyone. I wish we could see each other in person, but it's nice to see everyone, and thanks for taking time out of your day to join us. Welcome to Arkansas Tech. Welcome to the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences. Happy to be here to share information with you. I'm Dr. Kathy McMahon. I'm the department head for the Parks, Recreation, and Hospitality Administration Department. That's a mouthful within itself. But we do offer a Bachelor's of Science degree in Hospitality Administration with 3 separate emphasis areas within that degree. And we can talk more about that a little bit later on if you do have particular questions. We also offer a Bachelor's of Science in Recreation and Park Administration with 4 separate emphasis areas within that degree also. But do understand that for either degree, there is a core group of classes or courses that are very similar or the same, and then some courses that are a little bit more specific to that emphasis area that gives you that area of specialization. But we're a department that is related to tourism. And of course, within the state of Arkansas, we are very familiar with tourism, knowing it's the 2nd leading industry. Unfortunately, it's been impacted a little bit by what's going on in the world presently. But we know that we do have students actually completing internships and work experience opportunities this summer in the tourism industry. So we are a very hands-on experiential department also. A lot of that is people skills, interacting with people, but there's also opportunities for behind the scenes. So looking forward to sharing more information with you as we go.
Thank you. Dr. Washe, you're next in my group of faces I can see here. So go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Cezo. Hello, everyone. My name is Luai Washe. I'm the department head of Computer Information Science. We have a unique department. We're the oldest and the best department in Arkansas that offered baccalaureate degrees in computer science, information systems, and cybersecurity. My department offers a variety of programs to accommodate pretty much any student. We offer bachelor's programs in computer science education, cybersecurity, information technology, and information systems. We also offer 2 associate degrees in IT and cybersecurity. In addition to that, we offer a master's program in IT. We have excellent faculty who care a lot about students. So we look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Mr. Wiedenfeller, you kind of said hello earlier, but go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about all the stuff behind you there. It's looking pretty good there.
Well, that's actually fake. If I took that down, it would be brick wall. I'm in my basement. I have set up a little robotics headquarters down here, though. But as Dr. Greco mentioned, I am Mr. Jacob Weidenfeller. I am the electrical engineering lab director, and I also instruct some courses when needed. I teach circuits lab, electric circuits lab, and then sometimes I'll teach or assist in teaching digital logic lab. He did mention that we do have a very prominent robotics club right now. I've been working really hard along with other faculty to get a really nice robotics program running at Arkansas Tech. I'm wondering if any of you are familiar with VEX Robotics. That's really big in the state, and it's really big in the United States right now. We started a VEX Robotics Club 2 years ago, and last year, at our very first competition for VEX University, we qualified for the world's competition. Unfortunately, that was canceled, but it was just awesome to go to our very first competition as a university team and qualify for the biggest competition in the world was pretty awesome. And we plan on doing that every year. So if you are interested in robotics, we don't just do VEX Robotics. We are involved in IEEE robotics. We're involved in aerial drones, aerial UAVs, and Mercury Robotics. That's a competition hosted by Oklahoma, OSU Stillwater every year. Has nothing to do with the planet Mercury, unfortunately, but it's still a very competitive competition where you have to control a robot over 50 miles away over the internet. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm not sure how we can get my email out to everyone, but I'll leave that to the professionals. Well, thank you for being here.
So just joining us, thank you, Dr. Crone. So we're just going around and introducing ourselves very briefly. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Dr. Crone, and tell us just a wee bit about your programs.
Okay, sorry I was late. I was traveling. I also had my sound turned off when you were talking. So, what do you want me to say?
All right. So this is Dr. Crone. He's the interim department head for mechanical engineering. So just go ahead and tell us just a little bit about your program,
Okay.
and then we'll go ahead. So just a little brief description, and then we're going to leave some time for them to ask us some questions.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have a fairly traditional mechanical engineering type program. We do offer 2 degrees right now in the department, Bachelor of Science Mechanical Engineering. We also have an associate degree in nuclear technology, which I'll mention more in a minute. But the mechanical engineering degree is, like I said, it's a fairly traditional degree. We do have electives so that you can choose to concentrate in an area of interest, whether that be more on the manufacturing or mechanical design side or thermal system side. We have courses in alternative energy systems, nuclear power systems, etc. The associate nuclear technology uses those nuclear engineering courses to make an easy second degree for folks. Basically, you take the nuclear engineering courses as electives in your mechanical engineering degree, and take a couple of extra general education classes to get that. And that's a popular thing. About a fourth to a third of our students do that. A lot of students also get a math minor because that's fairly easy. You take one extra math course and you get a math minor. We have, I forgot an exact number, 300 and some students right now, majors, 8 faculty members, and classes, as with electrical, probably already mentioned that, are taught primarily by faculty. We have very few that are taught by adjuncts. Some of the big projects we do, the main one is related to the Shell Eco Challenge car competition, where the students design, work on, and build a car, go to the Shell Eco Marathon competition. It's canceled this year. Last year they went and they got just under 1,000 miles a gallon, finished 7th in the Americas of all the contestants. And they were really sure that they were going to break 1,000 miles this year, but then it got canceled. So hopefully next year. So, and we have 2 or 3 faculty that are fairly active in research, so there's always some opportunities to get involved with that too.
Thank you, everybody. I believe Dr. Killingsworth has not quite yet joined us. I think I just, oh, there he is. How did I not recognize him? I don't know why. Dr. Killingsworth is here. Thank you. Wave your hands if you need me. So yes, there we go. So Dr. Killingsworth, go ahead and talk a little bit about agriculture, if you will.
Yeah, so my name is Justin Killingsworth. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Ag. I'm serving as interim department head currently, but my background is actually in ag education. So I'm a former high school teacher that went on to grad school to finish out my PhD. Have been here at Tech since fall of 2011. So this will be starting my 10th year at Tech, and it's a great place to be. I know that our department our college is very diverse, and within a diverse college, we have a very diverse department. So we have programs that are under an umbrella of ag business, as well as ag education. On the ag business side, we have ag business straight, which is intended for students going into industry. We have a pre-vet option that is for students that are planning to go to vet school, animal science, horticulture, feed mill management, and public relations. So we have a really diverse course offering and program offering underneath ag business. And then also we have ag education for students that intend to go teach at the secondary level, so teach in high schools. We have some of our crew that end up teaching at the elementary level. There's a few opportunities like that. We also have quite a few folks that go into extension and industry as well from ag education. So anyways, we have a very family-oriented community, I think. I'm really glad to be not only at Arkansas Tech, but in the department that I'm in. So it's a really great place to be. I can get really long-winded, so I'm going to be quiet and let us shift to questions, because I want to make sure that we take care of what y'all want to hear today rather than me running my mouth.
Thank you very much. And one of our department heads is not able to be with us today, Dr. Sandy Smith. Dr. Smith is the department head for emergency management. And in fact, she is at a conference, a virtual conference, of course, because we're all virtual, right? So she's at a virtual conference right now with FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Administration. This is their annual education conference, and they actually go there every year to find out what kind of things that FEMA thinks should be in the emergency management educational programs. And we actually are, that department is the leader in the country with respect to their curriculum. So I just wanted to make sure we had all the departments covered. And again, if you got any questions, I think this would be a wonderful time to begin asking those. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can ask those via the chat, because I think all of y'all are muted. We're trying to mute everybody also as we get off of here, just to make sure we don't get a lot of feedback. We're learning how to do this virtually, so bear with us. And if you do have a question in the chat, go ahead and start asking those now. Thank you. And if y'all don't ask questions, I'm going to keep talking, and that's not necessarily. Here we go. All right. How do we join robotics? Mr.
Yeah.
Weidenfeller.
Yes. So when you come, I can type my email in the chat, and I'll give you more information. When you come to tech, just come to the Corley building, and I'm going to be in room 118. That's where my office is. Or you can go to room 111 or 110, I believe, is Dr. or Pam Dixon's office, and they can direct you to where I am. And then I'll hook you up with all the information you need. We meet officially once every week. That's the official meetings where we sit down, have brainstorming sessions, work with the students on building things. However, we do meet pretty much every night, sometimes even on the weekends, and all throughout the day. So there are constantly students in the robotics lab building, testing, designing, programming, because you have to program the robots to do things. One of the major things or additions this year to the VEX robotics competition is the addition of AI. So VEX has worked on producing a set of new sensors for AI, and there's going to be a completely separate AI competition with VEX. So yeah, if you want to learn more about robotics, email me at the email I set in the chat, and I'll gladly answer those.
So I think you may see that the next question, the hospitality building burned down. Where will be classes in the fall? Dr. McMahon, why don't I let you answer that? And I can tell you that they're making great strides toward that, getting that building rebuilt. The construction is going on. So go ahead and give them some idea about
Okay.
how y'all are doing that.
Okay. Very good question. And I know that's always a question that's on a lot of our hospitality majors' mind, especially if you're interested in the kitchen. We were fortunate to have a wonderful kitchen in Williamson. However, I think we're probably the only program in the state of Arkansas and possibly the South that has a modular kitchen that was just completed actually right about the time we left campus in March. And so we do have a fully equipped modular kitchen with all the bells and whistles that we had in Williamson, just smaller size, that is housed behind our current building, which is located on El Paso, right at kind of the end of El Paso and Parkway. So we will be utilizing the modular kitchen. We also, in our building that we're located in presently, have created a smaller scale dining room. So we'll be able to recreate those experiences. So we have continued with classes. We've found ways to get very creative. We've utilized kitchen space from some of the churches in town, but we are looking very forward to use of the modular kitchen come fall semester. So we'll be fully equipped and ready to go.
So to go ahead, there a lot of the classes, she mentioned the specialty classes. Some of your classes will be in regular classrooms, which will be held in just different buildings on campus. And so we've moved a lot of those, but that's actually not unusual. As a student at Arkansas Tech, you're going to have classes in many different buildings, and you're pretty much going to know, for example, some of your general education classes, you might be in one building. Even though engineering and computer science are in Corley, they often teach courses in, say, the Brown building, or I believe some are even, I don't know if they're in Tomlinson, but they're all over campus. So understand that while the fire was devastating, and the good news is we are making progress toward restoring that building to be hopefully even better than what it was. And also that the university has really made sure that you the resources are there for you to maintain the curriculum and the learning outcomes that you had for that program. And the modular kitchen is a good example. And I'm going to say that I believe that they've done a good job. In the fall, we're likely to be doing virtual office hours. So you know, being in academic buildings is going to be a little bit different than it was in the past, but we're gonna make our way through that. So we have another question. So thank you, Dr. McMahon. And again, the university is making sure that the educational objectives are being handled for pretty much all of the programs, even in this particular situation where we are. So our next program is for computer science. So in which year of study do ATU computer science students usually land an internship? And which subjects do students find the most challenging during their freshman year? Dr. Washe.
Thank you. Thank you, Zura, for this question. The department encourages students to take internships anytime. So during your first year, at the end of your first year, we encourage you to take an internship. And I work with a lot of companies here in Arkansas to establish internship programs for our students. In addition to that, I work with the Office of Information Systems on campus to sometimes they have internship opportunities for our students. So it would be really a great opportunity for all students to take internship opportunities. This is hands-on experience. So not only on campus, I encourage students to take that off campus as well. And I, on a regular basis, email all the students in my department and let them know about opportunities for internship, not only during the summer, but also year round. We have a lot of students who secure internships all year long. They do that part-time and they get paid, and it's really an excellent opportunity for all students. We found that a lot of students who take internships, I mean, not only they benefit from the hands-on experience, obviously, but a lot of students secure jobs with the companies they have internships with. So we highly encourage students at all levels to take internships. And the second question, I believe you asked about challenging courses. I believe challenging courses during the first semester would be programming 1, where you're going to learn a programming language, how to use it. In our case, is C++. I think that would be a challenging course for incoming students, and also Calculus 1 and 2. I believe these would be the most challenging ones during the first semester.
Thank you for your detailed answer.
Thank you.
Excellent. Dr. Killingsworth, are students able to do internships in their first year of pre-vet?
Yeah, so I thought I recognized Hannah's name. So we've discussed a little bit briefly, but to go into more depth, for vet school, anyone that's a pre-vet major, the goal is to make sure that we are equipping you to be able to go on to graduate study in vet school, right? So there's 2 big hurdles to that. One, you've got to be a great student once you get there, but then before that, we have to make sure that you have that resume that when you apply for vet school, you're going to be able to get admitted, right? So it's a tough process. We always want to encourage all the students in our department to prioritize school first, prioritize your studies, make sure that you're taking care of that. In keeping with that, if you're going to apply for vet school, we have to make sure that that GPA is high. The other big thing that they factor in, and you asking about internships is spot on, Hannah. The other piece that they make sure and take care of is they want to make sure that you've been involved outside of just studies. There are tons of folks with great GPAs out there. Vet schools are trying to target students who have been active not only in organizations and stuff to develop as a leader and growing adult, but also that you are investing in experiences that are going to lead to you being a better equipped veterinarian. So with that being the case, we have lots of vet clinics in town that we work with. I would say that most of our students are generally, it's not an internship. Normally we target those opportunities where it's actually a paid worker position. And you would, log those hours. We'd also have some other opportunities. So Doc Williams had been a part of our department for years. And Doc retired in December. We were able to welcome in Natalie Cooper this spring to take care of the classes that Doc taught. And Dr. Cooper actually practices vet medicine out of Searcy. And she has brought in a lot of contacts that we didn't have before that, a lot of animal rescue, in addition to, programs that are in those traditional veterinary practices. So that being said, we would want to make sure and have a chance to visit and think through what discipline within animal science a student would want to be really investing in for their future vet practice. I don't know for sure, Hannah, but I think horses might fit that bill for you, but we'll see. We want to make sure that you're diverse as we get out there. So all that to say, we can absolutely help you not only identify some good opportunities to pursue, but then also support you as you not only make sure and navigate that process as a student worker well, but then also your studies and the other things on campus. I'd also encourage anybody that's intending to go to vet school to be involved in the pre-vet club. They do a lot of work in making sure to bring in vet schools, bring in recruiters. They typically go at least on one trip a year to visit a vet school. We'll see how that plays out this next year, though. We may have to take a year off. We'll see. But all that to say, there's lots of opportunities to get you ready for vet school. So there are not only internships, but also paid positions for that. Hope that answers. Thanks.
Oops. Y'all are seeing these questions as they're coming up too. So this is the next one. It's about the food handler certification and whether a student would have to take your certification course again if they already have that.
I think this is probably from Sierra, if I was to guess. If you are certified, if you have completed the certification and passed the certification, then that will carry forward to starting our program. So you would not be required to take the sanitation and safety course. However, those hours are a part of our curriculum. But as far as having to repeat the course, you would not be required to do so.
This is a 1-credit course, correct?
Yes, it's a 1-credit hour. The sanitation and safety is a 1-credit hour course. And of course, the primary purpose of that is to have that certification that ensures you food safety and handling in the kitchen and the culinary type courses.
Okay, so Sierra would be able to take a 1-credit course in something else to count toward her degree.
Correct.
To make sure she gets enough hours. Okay, so and it pretty much could be anything because she's already got the requirements. So
right.
Could take a PE class or whatever just to get that extra credit, and not extra, but the credit to get toward the 120.
Right. We actually have 2 hours, 2-credit hours of electives that are built into the curriculum. So if you found a 3-credit hour course that you wanted to take, you could add those 2 hours of elective and then 1 hour from the sanitation and safety and come up with a 3-hour course, which may be one of our special topic courses or something that is of interest to you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Excellent. All right, we have another computer science question about is it only C++ or do they have the ability to learn other languages such as Python?
Michael, that's a good question. One of our goals in the department is to bridge the gap between what we teach at the university and what industry and government agencies need. So we're always in contact with industry liaisons and government agencies to see exactly what they need. Now, programming 1 and 2 are done in C++. However, our students get exposed to Python, Java, JavaScript, HTML. We do that so students would be better prepared for the workplace. And to me, a programming language is something similar to a spoken language or driving a car. If you drive a vehicle, say you drive a Chevy, C++, say in this case, and then later on, if you drive a Dodge, you should be, which is another language, you should be able really to drive it. There are differences, of course, but the logic is pretty much the same. The commands are going to be slightly different. The data structures are going to be slightly different. So we try to expose students to as many programming languages as possible. And just like spoken languages, once you master one, other similar languages should really be straightforward and shouldn't be difficult for you to learn any new language in the future. And I should mention also, you asked about Python. In fact, Python is a language that we introduce students in the first semester when they take our 1403 class. we show them examples in Python.
Don't go away yet, Dr. Washe. You're up for the next two. So would programming be beneficial for an IT major? And I can answer that one. The answer is yes. So carry on, but go ahead, Dr. Washe. Expand on that, please.
Yeah, Meg, definitely, if you're an IT major, then you're being asked to, required in the curriculum to take programming courses. It will definitely be helpful to you to know programming languages. Again, let me go back to that example of a car. A car could be designed by many people. IT folks like yourself in this case, you're going to be mainly focusing on how to, because remember, a car is a network, right? It's really a very complicated computer system. So in your case, you would be the one who would connect all the different points, all the wiring. You're going to do that as an IT major. And the computer science major in this case would be the person mainly who would program these pieces. And the information systems major in this case would be looking at human interaction, how to design the dashboard, the steering wheel, all the buttons inside the car. That would be mainly looked at as information systems student. And the cybersecurity students in this case would be making sure that there's an alarm system that is installed in the car. So definitely as an IT major, you would definitely benefit from programming.
And Angie wants to get started early. And so is there a curriculum to look at that will help them with C++ before
Definitely.
they get
Definitely. I encourage you, Angie, to just Google C++ tutorial. You'll see a lot of great tutorials about C++, very short ones that would bring you up to speed before you come and join us. You'll find those very beneficial. And if you'd like, let me type my email address and feel free to reach out to me if you are unable to find any good ones, or if you need really my help just to direct you in the right place. I'll be more than happy to do this.
So thank you for that. Why doesn't everybody, all the department heads and Dr. Buford, go ahead and type your email addresses in also, so they all have that information? Morgan, will they have, how will we communicate with them after they leave? Will they be able to see some of these chat questions, or will we be able to get them these, or do they need to write them down right now?
So definitely beneficial to write them down if they have questions that maybe they don't want to answer on here and want to email later. But we are recording this session, so if anything's been covered that maybe later on you're like, oh, I know they answered that and I can't remember it, we'll have these sessions available. And we don't know where we'll have them available at right now. So you can contact the admissions office after the week is up, and we should have a designated location for them. But aside from that, they can always either email the admissions department or look on our Arkansas Tech website under the College of Engineering and Applied Sciences and get emails from there.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing? Anybody else got any questions? Do y'all have questions for us about the university in general? Anything? Can we start asking them questions? Sarah wants to say something, am I right?
Yes. So I'm coming from Little Rock, and will it be hard to adjust to like a different atmosphere in Russellville?
Yes, I'm from Pine Bluff originally, and for me, Russellville was an adjustment, not a bad one. It's just anything that's different or that you're not used to will always be an adjustment. And I mean, you're going from Little Rock to Russellville, so we might not have as many restaurants. So you might have to adjust a little bit on there, but it's a good community and it's always exciting to start something new. So don't worry about that, and don't worry about the whole like it's different from what I've seen before. That's like the coolest part of getting older and growing up and doing these new things, is getting to do stuff you've never done before. So don't be nervous about it, okay?
Thank you.
Well, let me say something about that a little bit. So I think that's a great question, and thank you for asking that. This is one of the largest transitions you're going to have in your lifetime, and so take it with what it is. Understand that everybody is going to handle this differently, okay, and things like that. And whatever you feel is just part of the transition. Some people are I was scared. I actually went from a place. I grew up near Houston, and it's a place called Baytown, Texas. Not sure if you've ever heard of it, and that's probably not a bad thing. So anyway, and then I actually went to college in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Okay, so I went from the South to somewhat the North. I've actually moved even farther north up to New England after that. So it wasn't only a transition from high school to college, it was a transition from Southern suburban community to now a Northern urban community and everything that came along with that. And so what I want to tell all of you that are on here, because this has nothing to do with what major you're in or anything like that, the best thing to do is if you have a question, ask it. Ask whoever you can find. You will have any number of different support, both within academics and within student affairs. There are any number of different support systems that you're going to have. If you live on campus, and living on campus, you're going to have a resident assistant that's going to be in your residence hall that will help you kind of learn how to work with that. You're also going to have a faculty advisor. I'm sorry, that's not true. You're going to have an advisor from the advising center that's going to help you with your academics. But if something doesn't fall into that, ask somebody, and they will point you to the right direction. So the first thing is don't fret about who to ask. Just ask, and that person you ask will then do their very best to get you to either answer your question or get you to the person that can answer that. So that's the biggest thing to do. Understand that, like I said, this is probably the largest transition you're going to have in your life. And moving is hard. When you get to be my age, I've moved a lot. Moving is hard. Starting at new places are hard. And you've got the extra part of let's go ahead and start a college curriculum, which is completely different than any kind of educational model you've seen before. So, and then right now we'll just throw a global pandemic on top of that. What do you say? So I can tell you that the university is very aware that there will be transitions that are occurring normally. There will be transitions that are occurring because of the pandemic, and we're here for you to answer any questions we can. So, and so Chase has asked a question, I'm going to lead into that, about are we going to have classes in person in the fall? So I think everybody knows that kind of where we are here is every day we wake up and there's something brand new, okay? So, but the university has many, many committees. How do I know? Because I'm serving on many of them that are planning for the fall. And we are planning for face-to-face or what you call in-person classes in the fall. I cannot promise. I can tell you the university will not look like what it did last fall because we just can't, okay? But we are doing our very best to have forms of in-person classes. Again, we have to make sure we keep that social distancing going on, but we very much want you in the classroom, meeting with your, talking to your faculty, engaging with other people, as much as you can engage while social distancing. So the answer is, right now, I can't give you a definitive thing, but right now, the plan is that that classes will be in person. Exactly how that's going to happen, we are still working out those details. So I hope that answered your question. And we very much want to see face-to-face, because at Arkansas Tech, like I said, part of it is the fact that we want to see you. We're talking to y'all now. We want to see you. We want to answer those questions that you have. And so we want to make sure we support you in your education and beyond. And part of that is actually seeing you in a class. So we'll see how we can do that in a safe manner. So we got, okay. Oh, that's Mr. Weidenfeller. Okay. Oh, he's got some ideas about some programming tutorials for you. So thank you for that. It's projecteuler.net. I almost said Euler, but it's Euler, like the Houston Oilers.
So it's not actually tutorials, but it's a set of problems that really let you think outside of the box to solve problems. So the further along you progress, they're going to get harder. It says that every solution to these problems can be done by the computer in less than a minute. So if you create an algorithm to solve this problem that takes an hour, then it wants you to rethink your approach to writing that algorithm and come up with an efficient way to solve that problem in less than a minute. It gets pretty advanced, but I had so much fun with it when I was an undergrad. It's just a fun little website, but it's not necessarily tutorials. It's just a way to practice the skills that you learn either through your courses or through the tutorials that you find online.
All right. Does anybody have any more general or specific questions for us? This has been fun. So, what programming language is Project Euler in?
So that's the beauty about it, is you can use any language that you are comfortable with. What you do is whatever language you're comfortable with, you write a solution. The solution is usually a number. Like, what is the sum of all the digits below 1,000 that are a multiple of 3 and 5 is the first question on there. So once you create or type up the algorithm in whatever language you want, and your algorithm spits out the answer, you then type that answer into the website. If it's correct, then it gives you access to a forum with tons and tons of solutions that could be in C++, Python, languages that you've never heard of, like J. There's literally every single language that you can think of, someone's come up with a solution for that. But yeah, it doesn't have to be a specific language, just whatever language you're comfortable with.
And this is how old I am. My first language was Pascal. Okay, now y'all, it actually is if I understand this correctly, and Dr. Washe will tell me if I'm wrong, but that was really kind of, I think C and C++ were based a little bit on Pascal. It's actually a great language to learn because it was so picky about you doing things right. And so then I learned Fortran, and exactly what Dr. Washe said there. I could pick up Fortran very quickly because I understood the programming concepts in Pascal. And because I understood Pascal, I could then go and program in Fortran, because one of my internships that I had, I was actually working in the orthopedic research lab at the University of Pittsburgh. And they said, you have to write this program in Fortran. So part of my internship was get the Fortran book out of the library and compare it to, and it didn't take long at all. So the programming languages, once you understand the logic of them, the logic is the hard part. After that, all the commands pretty much come easily. And let me tell you how old I am too. I was 1 year past when they used punch cards for at my university where I went. Okay, I missed them by 1 year. So if you don't know punch cards, go try to find some ancient encyclopedia someplace, and they'll talk a little bit about computer punch cards, where instead of having a line of code, you would have one card. And if you drop them, your entire program, you try to put them back together. They did have numbers on them, but anyway, that kind of just shows you how old we are. And this is another thing about how old I am. When I started my academic career, the internet didn't exist. Okay. And I still remember people going to seminars going, wow, this is going to be amazing. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So now look at where we are. Many, many years later, and not only do we have internet, we can actually communicate with people across the world. And we're very fortunate that the technology has made it where we actually are in an environment where we can communicate like this. So we should be happy for technology, but we also have to make sure we keep it under control. Dr. Washe mentioned cybersecurity. If you've worked with Zoom a little bit now, you know there's some issues with cybersecurity in Zoom. So every time we come up with a new solution, people will kind of, we have to kind of keep up with the social aspects of that as well as the technical aspects, which is why I really love our college, because we have pretty much the gamut across the spectrum of all the different programs. So are there any clubs that Dr. McMahon, talk about the hospitality club.
Yeah, we do have, we have the Hospitality Society, which is our student organization, which not only for hospitality majors, but anybody that is interested in becoming involved. So it is a student organization. It is operated by students. So as I say, sometimes we're a little bit of a roller coaster as how involved students are, but typically we do see a high level of involvement with Hospitality Society. So they typically have meetings every other week. They do have a variety of events, opportunities. They host a 5K run as a fundraiser for a community-based charity, typically in the fall. They also host a dessert competition that we have along with a Thanksgiving meal, typically in November. So, I mean, some of these things may be tweaked just a little bit depending on how the fall semester rolls out, but we do have the Hospitality Society, and you will have the opportunity to become involved with the society.
I would ask everybody to talk about all their different student clubs in their programs, but we actually don't have enough time because it would take us another 10, 15 minutes to talk about the ones that are just in ag. I can tell you they have a whole lot of different student organizations and things like that. What I can tell you is every single department and program is pretty much going to have student organizations associated with it. So we really encourage you to get involved in those. There's not, you'll see a lot of the juniors and seniors working on things, but any freshmen and sophomores, just go join. If you're interested, go ahead and get involved with that. It doesn't have to be an academic program. There are any number of different clubs on campus. And really, we want you to be integrated into the entire campus community. So if you're in an academic club, that's great. If you choose to do something more with student activities, if you want to play intramurals, you might be a varsity athlete. There are any number of different ways to get involved across campus. And I want you to have the full college experience. It's not, people were surprised when I say this, knowing who I am. It's not all about the classes, okay? It's a huge transition, like I said, you're making. You're going to be a completely different person when you graduate than when you started. And that's not only because of the classes you took, it's because of the people you met, the conversations you had, the things you never thought about before that other people are telling you. It's just really a wonderful experience, and you will not have another 4 years in your life that will change you as much as these 4 years will. So there we go. That's the end of my spiel, because I think it's important to know it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be excited. It's okay to be whatever you are. And it's okay to see us on campus when you come back, because that's really, we're really looking forward to meeting you. I can see that some of our department heads have met many of you already, which is excellent. So we're just really looking forward to getting started in the fall. Okay, so there's a question about computer labs near the residence hall. I think the answer to that depends on which residence hall you're in. And so that's a hard one to answer. In Jones, if you are in the engineering LLC, for example, I believe they have some computers for those students in Jones, but you're right next to that. There is a Nut. Let's see, how close are you to the library? There are tons of computers in the library. You're actually not that far from Nut to get to the library. So I think there'll be computer labs pretty much at your disposal. And that's a good thing to, okay, has a 3D printer, but not a lab. Okay, but again, the library has any number of different computers you can go to. We are a pretty small campus, so it's not too bad to walk, 10 minutes to get from one place to another. Our college is spread out all over campus. Many of the colleges that you see, and it gets confusing what exactly a college is. A college is simply a collection of departments, okay? So engineering and computer and information science are in Corley. That's where my office is. Dean Hall houses emergency management as well as agriculture. And we've already talked a little bit about this. 404 North El Paso is the temporary location for Parks, Rec, and Hospitality, but we will have Williamson online in the not too distant future. Okay, and by the way, everybody, this is my cat Colby. And so if you have any questions for him, he'd be glad to answer those too. So the answer about the 3D printer in your residence hall, that would be a question for student affairs, to be honest with you, because they do have a list of appropriate things you can have in there. Really what they're worried about is it getting too hot and catching on fire or something like that. So there are certain things, and again, it's for safety purposes and things like that. But so there are 3D printers on campus that you can use, both within engineering and outside of engineering. So those are available. We do have some availability of that for you to do for your different courses. So, but again, anything you have, any questions, I don't want to put y'all off, but student affairs are really the people to ask about the residence halls and things like that. So, because I'm not going to say something that I don't know, because you will sign a contract for your residence hall, tell it, you know, kind of like a lease as to the things you can and cannot do within that. So, all righty then.
I just want to answer Zarab's question. I currently don't know of any lab that's specifically meant for AI or VR. However, I did mention that AI competition for VEX. That is something that we are going to be working on a lot. And if we can get a VR system set up, that would be great to work with as well. Me and Dr. Wache have been talking to get students in the engineering programs and the computer science programs working together on projects. So hopefully those will start happening soon. In the end, we can dive into AI and VR. The students have to come to us and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this. And then I will try my best to get students doing that stuff that they want to do, instead of just saying, here's a project that I'm forcing you to work on.
And if I may I talk a little bit, Dr. Cezo, about the cyber lab? I think you're muted.
Yep.
There we go. I got y'all now. I went away for a second and couldn't figure out how to come back. So here I am now. So yes, Dr. Wache, take it away for, yes, carry on.
So just, thank you. I just want to briefly mention to you guys about the cyber lab that we have. We opened this lab last summer with generous funds from Governor Hutchinson of Arkansas. We have state-of-the-art cybersecurity lab on campus here. The lab actually consists of two rooms or two labs. One is the clean lab, and the other one is the quarantine lab. In the quarantine lab, this is really neat. This is where students get to practice competitions, creating viruses, spreading malware from one machine to another. Just learn what hackers do. This is a closed lab, the quarantine lab, meaning you're not really connected to anything outside that room. So this is really a great opportunity for students to practice artificial intelligence, virtual reality. Anything you want to do in that room, I think would be a good place for students to practice. So again, this is an opportunity for really students, not only in the cybersecurity program, but if you want to be involved in the cybersecurity club and computer science club as well, they sometimes have activities in that room, again, to practice competitions. So I encourage everybody to join these clubs. And for specialized AI labs, we have at least one faculty member who does research in AI. And he has machines in his office where he runs programs that uses AI techniques and algorithms. So this is an opportunity for students to work with faculty members in areas like AI, data mining as well. So we do have some equipment that I think as students you would find very beneficial.
All righty then. Are there any more questions? All right, Morgan, tell us where we go from here.
All right, so thank you guys so much for participating and for asking so many questions. It makes the sessions a lot better than just sitting and watching a screen, and I really appreciate how invested you guys are in getting started in the fall. We can't wait to have you on campus, and we really, really hope that we have you on campus face to face so that we can do this a little more. If you guys have any questions regarding the sessions, or maybe you forgot how to get in touch with the faculty, please email the admissions office. We're the first people that come up when you Google Arkansas Tech, so it's really simple to get a hold of us, and we'll get you to these people. And I just wanted to say big thank you to all the faculty for showing up. And yeah, you guys just have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to keep seeing some of the students throughout the rest of the week in our admitted to ATU sessions. So all right, you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.